Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Views Express Live right here on the Free America Radio Network on Spreaker.com and freeamericaradio.weebly.com. Go check it out, folks. Changes are taking place all over the place, man. This place is changing everywhere. So anyway, hey, go to the backup site. Yeah, I got a backup site for this show. AmericanLibertyRadio.wix, that's wix.com/ALRnetwork. That's AmericanLibertyRadio.wix.com/ALRnetwork. So that's the backup site for this particular show. And things are changing as we speak. So, hey, how y'all doing today? It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. Yes, it is. It's Friday. You can go to the Free America Radio Facebook page if you wish to do that. That's totally up to you. I don't want to throw you on the ground, twist your arm, and make you go do something you may not want to do. I'm just saying. So anyway, go to the Free America Radio Facebook page. Not much on there, so let's do this, folks. Let's go over to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page, because I've been dropping some articles on that here recently. I did a podcast earlier, so I've got a lot of information there as well. There's just a lot, okay? And you can scroll down, you can see it. I've got the link to the podcast there. I've got, some stuff. And I thought I had put some more articles up there, but I guess I didn't. So we're going to highlight some stuff today. And then at the top of the hour, we'll have some other things going on. Of course. But anyway, why is the U.S. government aiding and abetting terrorists? That's a good question. Obama spurns GOP with expansive immigration orders. Yeah. Amnesty releases free tool to detect government spyware on computers and phones. That's from truthdig.com. Hackers conceal data wirelessly from PCs that aren't even online. Okay. So we have a lot going on. There's just so much, and so I don't know what to tell you, folks. I really don't. I'm stumped. I'm stumped as to why people cannot get up off their damn ass and go out and protest. What are you doing, man? I'm giving you the roadmap. Here's all the things you need to know about this current position we're in. And here you go. Go check this stuff out yourself. And there's the roadmap. And you see the big red circle with the big red dot that says you are here? See all the roads going everywhere? Yeah, it's up to you which road you want to take. So anyway, what do we do? I don't know, folks. I have no clue, honestly. So when we get back from the break, I'm going to get into something that I found quite interesting. So, yeah, email me, freeamericaradio@unseen.is, freeamericaradio@unseen.is.
Sarasota's home for R&B and soul. The Razor Blade Express with Dave the Rave.
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Ah, damn politicians. My mother always told me this country would be screwed if the liberals had their way. The only sanity I get is when I listen to Jeff Wagner on the Conservative Voice, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor? Do you want to hone your abilities? Please send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. We are currently looking for voice actors to fill certain character roles in an ongoing radio play in development. Please send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. Hey, folks, this is the Views Express live right here on the Free America Radio Network on Spreaker.com. There are changes in the works, so stay tuned, folks. Email me, freeamericaradio at unseen.is. Freeamericaradio at unseen.is for more information. I don't know, folks. What are we doing? What? I mean, seriously, folks. Come on. What are we doing? Are we sitting being keyboard warriors and holding on to some semblance of sanity that we apparently think we have? I mean, you can say anything you want, really. But when it comes right down to it, it's going to take you and I to get out in the streets and do what we have to do to take our country back. There's over 500 people right now in Las Vegas protesting and shouting and doing all kinds of stuff because the president is there giving his amnesty speech. And that's what it is. It's amnesty. It's giving 5 to 6 to 10 to 15 million illegal aliens freaking pass. Here you go. You're in America anyway. There you go. We're not going to deport you. We're not going to arrest you. We're not going to throw you in jail. Oh, there's some stipulations. You just can't, have done any violent crime anywhere. And, but that's not true because they do anyway. Not all of them. So there you go. But I want to go here. Now, I know some people who use Bitcoin and Dogecoin, or whatever the heck it is. Cyber currency, folks. Well, LibertyBeat.com, thelibertybeat.com has a news article by Derek Bros. Thank you, Derek. U.S. Commodities Commission to hold hearing on Bitcoin. On October 9th, the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission will hold a public meeting on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And this was posted the 29th of September 2014. The commission will host a panel which will examine Bitcoin and the possible creation of a derivatives market for the popular cryptocurrency. The CFTC is an independent federal agency that regulates futures and options market. Let me tell you something right now, folks. Let me read this part to you again. The commission will host a panel which will examine, Bitcoin, now get this, and the possible creation of derivatives market for the popular cryptocurrency. That's what we have now with the fiat currency. We have, what it is you have, I'm just going to throw this out here. Okay, I'm just going to put this out here in a way that is meat and potatoes, that I understand it. You have $100 on the table. You have 10 people at that table. You can split it up 10 ways, $10 a piece, right? 10 times 10 is 100, last time I checked. Now, each one of those people can say, I can loan you this $10, but you have to pay it back at this rate. Now, and that's good because you can do that. That's independent of any organization, and you yourself as the loaning out the money can make the money on your own and grow your business. Hold on to that thought. Derivatives are nothing more than money pulled out of the air. Figures pulled out of the air. Just made up numbers. You got that $10 in front of you, right? You can tell the person, hey, I've got $100 I can loan you. That looks like $10. No. I have $100 that I can loan you. But you have to pay it back at a certain percentage, and it will be this and that. You see how complicated it becomes? Do you see where it's going after that? The guy's got $10 sitting in front of him. He's telling the person, I can loan you $100, but you only got $10. I can loan you $100, but you only got $10. You see how that works? It's monopoly money, folks. You ever played Monopoly, the board game? It's monopoly money. It's just derivatives or fake money pulled out of the air, pulled out of the ass of whoever is sitting at the table to say, here's how much I can loan you because I've got leverage with the other people that I work with. Remember the 10 people around the table with the $10 each? Yeah. So those other 9 people invest in your enterprise, okay? And they say, yes, I only got $10, but I can loan you $100. What? So derivatives, basically, let me break it down to you even simpler than that. Derivatives are figures pulled out of the air. They're figures pulled out of the sky, pulled out of your ass, pulled out of your nose, pulled out of your ear, thought up just on the spur of the moment. That's what derivatives are. And don't let some financial person say, no, that's not what they are. That's what they are. When you look at derivatives, that's what they are. Matter of fact, let's do this, folks. I always like doing this. Oh, I don't want to go there, but okay. Let's do this if I can type. Let's do this. Derivatives. I believe that's how you spell it. Derivative. Not original. Secondary. Something derived. Also derived form. A form that has undergone derivation from another as atomic from atom. Also called differential quotient. I think that's how you put it. Especially British, differential quotient mathematics. Here it is. The limit of the ratio of the increment of a function to the increment of a variable in it as the latter tends to 0. The instantaneous change of one quantity with respect to another as velocity which is the instantaneous change of distance with respect to time. Now here's a financial one. A financial contract whose value derives from the value of underlying stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities. Okay? The result of derivation, whatever, it's a result of being derived based on or making use of other sources, not original or primary, copied from others, especially slavishly, plagiaristic. Something obtained or produced by modification of something else. That's what it is. And in this context, when you think of the national debt and you think of derivatives, it's fake money pulled out of the ass of the person loaning you the money. That's what it is. That's just... So, there you go. Now, even though I read you the definition on dictionary.com, and even though I gave you my perspective of what I believe a derivative is, I could be wrong. So, there you go. I don't know what is going on in Ferguson at the moment. And I know that something is about ready to explode. I know this. I know that there are people out there who don't want to do anything. They don't want to stand up for nothing. They don't want to... They don't want to. I see that people have good intentions. I see that their minds are set. Their heads are screwed on tight and they know exactly what they want. But I don't see too many people defending what they have. We have co-opted groups in Ferguson, Missouri that's going to get a lot of people killed if they're not careful. And those police officers, those sheriff's officers, every one of those constitutional protected sheriff's officers need to go to the DHS and tell them, if you come into this town, we will arrest you. And they know who these co-opted groups are, and they should go to each and every one of them and say, you even step out of line and breathe wrong, we're going to throw your asses in prison. That's what needs to be done. But do you think it's going to happen? No, not at all. Not at all. And there's really good reason for that too, because people are complacent. They're apathetic. There is no heart anymore. Now, I'm sure there are good people in Ferguson, Missouri that don't want to see anything happen. But those good people better start doing what they need to do to take care of their town, because if they don't, these people that are there that are against this whole situation with Michael Brown and Darren Wilson, they're going to burn your city to the ground. And they won't care. Remember the L.A. riots when Rodney King was acquitted? Or, the cops were acquitted or something. I don't know what the hell it was. It was so long ago, I can't remember exactly what happened. I just know that it's not going to be pretty, folks. And if you want to continue to believe that things are going to be just fine, well, I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, I don't. VoicesOfLiberty.com. Why is the U.S. government aiding and abetting terrorists? November 19th, that was a couple of days ago, 2014. Could it be to justify boots on the ground in Syria soon, or is it about money and oil? Let's analyze all the details and the facts. A few weeks ago, it was reported that the U.S. accidentally airdropped weapons that fell into the hands of ISIS near Kobane, Syria. Later, the U.S. tried to cover it up by saying it was not a mistake, that they were trying to get it into the hands of the Kurds. According to the U.S. Central Command website, the drop was to, quote, to resupply Kurdish forces on the ground defending the city against ISIL, unquote. These Kurdish forces, the PKK, Kurdistan Workers' Party, are listed on the State Department's Foreign Terrorist Organizations list from the Bureau of Counterterrorism. Isn't that treason to the Constitution? What if an American citizen was caught providing weapons to some organization on this list? So let's get this straight. The American regime is getting us into World War III by helping and funding the Syrian moderate rebels to fight against ISIS when we created and funded them to start with, and now we are aiding a terrorist group, and ISIS got their hands on the weapons because our military made a mistake. Are we supposed to believe that our military is just that careless? Another mistake must be how we are performing the airstrikes in the middle of the night to empty buildings instead of during the day when the Islamic terrorists are in the buildings. This poor strategy is described by Fox News by Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, retired, when he says, quote, President Obama didn't want to hurt any terrorists, unquote. The Central Command website also says that, quote, this assistance is another example of U.S. resolve to deny ISIL key terrain and safe haven, as well as our commitment to assist those forces who oppose ISIL, unquote. People in the Liberty Movement realize how ridiculous this statement is when we all know that the reason ISIS has a safe haven there is because we have been providing it. Rand Paul discussed this on CNN when he says, quote, we have been fighting alongside ISIS. We are with ISIS in Syria. We're on the same side of the war, so those who want to get involved to stop ISIS in Iraq are allied with ISIS in Syria. That is the real contradiction to this whole policy, unquote. Later, he also points out that, quote, we should have not armed them. If we wouldn't have armed them in Syria, maybe they wouldn't be in Iraq. We are still arming the radical Islamic rebels in Syria, unquote. Is it the plan of the U.S. in conjunction with Israel to fund both sides and continue creating more terrorist cells along the way just to confuse the American people who lack knowledge of the area? Here is a map that shows how crazy all of this has become. You want to take a look at that map, folks. So why are we abiding the Kurds now, or aiding the Kurds now? Sometimes the words So why are we aiding the Kurds now? The director of the Kurdistan Regional Government out of Washington, D.C., Karwan Zebari, admitted to C-SPAN that the Kurds are entitled to $9 billion from oil reserves in Baghdad in helping Israel to conquer the region known as Greater Israel. Now that the recons, I just can't read today. You know that? Now that the neocons are in charge of the Congress, it hasn't taken long for pundit Max Boot to start demanding, quote, start a war now, unquote, and maybe this airdrop is the very propaganda ploy that is necessary for those boots on the ground that the neocons can't wait to gain. The strategies of the United States in this conflict make about as much sense as it did getting us into the Vietnam War over the Gulf of Tonkin that never actually occurred. No wonder Washington and Jefferson tried to warn us about avoiding entangling alliances with foreign nations. We are only inviting blowback from all of the entities involved, even when we did get them started. Folks, I really, 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 really am pissed off at people who don't see what is going on behind the scenes. Now, I know there's a vast majority of the people in America that are aware. Thank you. I applaud you. But why don't you go to your friends or family or coworkers that think that you're a conspiracy theorist and show them the evidence? Oh, I know why. Trust me, I've done this, and they won't listen. They won't listen. Not until there's militarized New World Order law enforcement standing at their door, kicking it down, going in, splitting up the family, and taking what they want. By that time, it's too late. So whatever it is that people are wanting, okay? Whatever people are wanting, you either get up off your ass and go get it done, or in this case, since Pandora's box has already been opened, I think it would be better for you to, if you side with Obama, it's better for you to either go to Mexico, North Korea, China, or Russia, because you obviously don't want to be in America. Okay? I'm just saying. It's my observation, right? Before we go to break, hey, somebody dropped into the Spreaker chat. TNN Radio. Hey, man. Haven't seen you in a while. Where you been hiding? He says, listen to TNN Radio Live from Orlando, Florida, November 22nd through the 27th. And also visit our new website at tnnradio.com. Yeah. So what's happening tomorrow? Starting tomorrow, actually. Yeah. So that's TNN, Tango November, radio.com. tnnradio.com. Check it out. Starting tomorrow. There you go. It's been a while since I've seen them in the chat room. So, looks like they're growing, as they should. And Free America Radio Network is growing as well. We're changing. We're remodeling. Pardon our dust. We have things that we're looking up. Let's put it that way. I say we. Why do I say we? It's me. I'm the sole owner and operator of this network, and so things are changing just a tad, just a little bit, and you can be a part of that if you want. You can go to freeamericaradio.weebly.com. That's freeamericaradio.weebly.com. You can donate. You can get your emergency food supply. You can sponsor a show, whatever it is you want to do. And that'll help clean up the place around here. So we're changing. The name, of course, might be changing as well. So, yes. So anyway, and you're welcome. So there you go. Check it out, man. Come help the network grow. I mean, we're still going to share the truth one fact at a time without the BS. Okay? That's what we're going to do. There's a backup site which might, at some point, don't know when yet, become the normal site. I have no idea when that's going to be. You can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.wix, that's WIX, .com/ALR network. AmericanLibertyRadio.wix.com/ALR network. That's a backup site. So it's taken this long to make the changes that I needed. So anyway, we're growing, we're moving, we're expanding our horizons, so you can be a part of that. If you have any questions, of course, you can email me. You can email me at another email address, and this one is a lot more secure. Send your email to freeamericaradio@unseen.is. That's freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Got any questions, comments, concerns? Even if you disagree with me, show me why. Send it there. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Folks, I shall return right after this. Chris Ann Hall, Liberty's lobbyist. Go to Chris Ann Hall, KrisAnnehall.com, chrisannhall.com. How far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? Listen to Ashley Jones on the Red Pill Radio Show on AlternativeCurrentRadio.com.
The world is falling apart. Countries are fighting for supremacy and control. Each country's leaders are saying they should rule their people. This is neither politically correct or morally right. It is the people that suffer by the hands of the corrupt leaders of their countries. For the people to be free, they must take a stand against the corporations that control the politicians.
American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the BS. Hey folks, welcome back. How you doing? This is the Views Express Live for the 21st of November 2014. Yes, it's one of those days, folks. It's Friday. Hey man, you got the weekend coming up. We got the Wizard World Comic-Con going on here in Reno, Nevada. That's where I'm broadcasting from, the biggest little city in the world. And we're going to have a really cool weekend, I'm sure. Yeah. A lot of people have canceled, though. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, looked on the website, and there was a lot of people that canceled, like Burt Ward and Adam West. You know, Batman and Robin. Yeah. Cassandra Peterson, also known as Elvira, she canceled. Filming. She's doing some filming. That's why. Couldn't get away. Just a whole bunch of people. So there's going to be mostly Walking Dead people there, you know, directors, producers, some of the actors that are no longer on the show, you know, except for the one and only man himself, Norman Reedus, is going to be there. So that's kind of cool. And it's ridiculous. I mean, you ever been to one of those? This is the first time I've gone, so you know it's the first time I'm going to go. It starts tonight, ends Sunday. We're going to go tomorrow, but yeah, it's nuts, man. Hey, I want to give you a little something here. You can go listen to Ashley Jones at Red Pill Radio Show on Alternate Current Radio. That's alternatecurrentradio.com. Ashley Jones, Red Pill Radio Show. Check it out. I will be on the show, I believe, Tuesday. I'll have to confirm that. And I'll be on that show Tuesday talking about liberty. What else? So anyway, so check it out. Anyway, that's alternatecurrentradio.com. So anyway, gotta ask you a question. I like posing questions. I don't get any answers because nobody emails me, and I tell you to email me, and nobody does. So, but I'm going to ask a question. Real simple question. It's not too hard. You don't have to screw on your thinking caps that tightly for this one. How do you believe this president has gotten away with what he's gotten away with? How do you believe he's gotten away with what he's gotten away with? It's not really complicated. I'll give you my view. He did it because he's telling Congress up yours. He's thumbing his nose and giving the big middle finger to Congress and tell them to kiss his, Marxist ass, and he's going to do anything he wants. I mean, a couple of years ago, Senator Jeff Sessions asked then Defense Secretary Leon Panetta about certain things that, were going on with the invasion, or not invasion, or with our military going into Syria and all this and all that, right? This is a couple of years ago. This is before Syria became a big thing in the news. And Leon Panetta basically told Senator Sessions, we're going to go to the international community and get their permission to go into Syria. What? Yeah. Senator Sessions wasn't too happy about that answer. But Leon Panetta said the same thing when pressed. Yeah, and Sessions reminded him, you got to come to Congress to get approval. First of all, to use our military in other campaigns, in other areas. And Senator Sessions reminded Leon Panetta that he was on the committee and in Congress for a while. He knows. So, again, how do you believe this president has gotten away with what he's gotten away with? I've got a pen and a cell phone. Yeah, and I'd like to tell you where you can put that too, buddy. There's going to be people, I believe on December 10th, that are going to go to Washington, D.C. and protest. Well, don't protest. I challenge each and every one of you near Washington, D.C., if you're an hour out, go to Washington, D.C., surround the White House, and have somebody, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, constitutional sheriffs, whatever, have them just go right in there and arrest his ass. By the way, the Provost Marshal of the United States can do that. He's not controlled by anybody. He's independent, I believe, and I could be wrong in that. But the Joint Chiefs of Staff could walk right in and say, Mr. President, we are relieving you of your duty. But then, if that happens, we'll have a military dictatorship or a military political government. Okay? I don't think it'll be a dictatorship. I think it'll be controlled by the military until we can, put some people in the seats. But I'm with, a lot of people that I hear, go in, arrest Biden and Obama, go in, just take everybody out of Congress, push them all out the door, go to the Federal Reserve, take back the printing press and give it back to the Treasury of the people, and take our country back. The problem is that nobody has balls enough to do that. Nobody has balls enough to do that. I don't know if there are 1,000 people surrounding areas around Washington, D.C. I don't know if there's 1,000 people that could rush the White House, jump the fence, go in there and have him arrested. By the way, you as a citizen can declare a citizen's arrest against the president. You can. You didn't know that, did you? Look it up. I'm kind of fuzzy on all the details. Just go to startpage.com and put in, can you declare citizen's arrest against the president of the United States? See what it says. Let's go to some of the news, shall we? Let's wander on over to the news. Okay? Interesting, to say the least, that this president would totally ignore the will of the people. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It's just amazing to me. APnews.myway.com. Obama spurns GOP with expansive immigration orders. Spurning furious Republicans, President Barack Obama unveiled expansive executive action on immigration Thursday night to spare nearly 5 million people in the U.S. illegally from deportation and refocus enforcement efforts on felons, not families. Well, that's all good, folks. That's all good. This is on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page, by the way. Let me do this. I will put this on the Free America Radio Facebook page. And you can take a look and read the rest of that article. I'm done with stupidity. I'm done with stupidity. Okay? Just completely and absolutely done with stupidity, all right? People think that, well, you know, if we do this and we do that, and if we vote somebody else into office, things will get straightened out. No, they won't, because both parties play for the same, owner of the teams. So, doesn't matter. Barack Obama, immigration action. President Barack Obama is seeking to change immigration policy, including an expansion of the programs for young immigrants in the U.S. I'm going to put this image. First, I have to save it first. I'm going to put this image up on the Free America Radio Facebook page. Oh, God. It's amazing. We see what's there. We know what's there. It's right in front of our eyes. We know it's there. There's no getting around it. It's right there in front of our eyes. We see it. It's there. But how do we control it? How do we manage it? How do we work with it? That's something that I think is foreign to most of us. Okay? I just put up this diagram, this picture, and it says number of immigrants affected, 11.3 million in the U.S. estimated, 610,000 young immigrants already protected from deportation, up to 290,000 young immigrants under liberalized deportation rules, 4.1 million in the U.S. at least 5 years whose children are U.S. citizens or permanent residents. Other provisions prioritize deportations for recent arrivals and criminals, de-emphasizing parents of U.S. citizens or permanent residents who have been here in the U.S. for less than 5 years. Commit more resources for enforcement efforts at the U.S.-Mexico border, which they're never going to do, I can tell you that much. Increase pay for immigration officers. Loosen eligibility requirements for people seeking a green card. That all sounds good. It all sounds good until you examine the very basics of what this means. What this means is that more and more you're going to have more illegal aliens coming over here taking your job. I'll throw some numbers out at you. Hopefully you can catch them and understand what I'm talking about. You're working in a warehouse. You're making $12 an hour. What's the minimum wage in your state? For that business to pay their overhead and to have a profit and to put a little money in their pocket as a business owner, they're going to have to cut something. What do they cut? What's the first thing any company cuts? Labor. They cut labor. That means they lay people off. Well, they're not only going to lay people off, they're going to hire people for half price. Okay? They're going to lay people off. Okay? And it really... How can I put this? The illegal aliens are going to steal your jobs. Now, I know. That's a talking point from about 10 to 20 years ago. I remember the Clinton era. I remember all that and immigration reform then as well. But you got to remember back in 1986, Ronald Reagan signed, Congress put the bill together, talked about it, debated it, looked at it, examined every part of it, got it passed through the House and the Senate, sent it to President Reagan, and Reagan signed it. Reagan did not tell Congress to kiss his ass. He's going to do this anyway. Well, you see what's happening is that this president doesn't really care what you want. That is why we have to take matters into our own hands. This is why people in Texas, New Mexico, Southern California, and Arizona need to go to the border and shut it down. Period. The Border Patrol isn't. They're told to stand down. Matter of fact, they're told through ICE to give them a bus ticket to wherever they want to go. That's what they do. Okay? That's what they do. Now, whatever your belief is, whether it be, well, they're coming here out of a really nasty country and they want to be free and all that, they're walking right into a nasty country because we're about one loose rock away on the mountain from becoming a third world nation. Okay? One wrong move and boom, we're done. Matter of fact, I can tell you right now, as of 1933, actually 1913 and 1933 as well, and I believe it was 1973, I'm not quite sure, I'd have to look, we're done. The only unified force in America, in the United States, is the people. But not enough people have the balls to stand up to your city councils or county board of supervisors or your governor and say, wait, I don't like what you're doing. We, the people, will decide the direction of this state, this county, this city. Not you. We will. I don't know too many people who would do that. I don't know too many people who would, well, kick ass and take names. I just don't. I seriously do not know. Now, let me say this. Let me say this. And by the way, let me ask you another question. How's my sound doing? If you're in the Spreaker chat, how's it sounding? Is there any glitches? I've been having some sound issues recently. So just need to know, because I want to, like I said, we're changing certain things, changing around here. So anyway, I look at this regime, and it is a regime, a totalitarian regime with Marxist ideologies, with communist tendencies. That's what this country is now. Is it a third world? Not yet. Not yet. Will it be? I don't know. But let's hope it won't become that, because you and I, we the people, can make the changes that need to be made. Here, let's take a look at another piece of news. And I'm going to go to the go-to site that I go to all the time, Drudge Report. Now, people are talking about, oh, well, you know, the House and the Senate are under Republican control. Really? Geraldo Rivera writes for Fox News, latino.foxnews.com. And he says, the headline says, About Time, Part 1. Republicans had it coming. They allowed their House leadership to be rendered irrelevant by anti-immigration radicals like Steve King of Iowa and Mo Brooks of Alabama. The right-wing herd and its supporting cast of screamers like Matt Drudge and Judicial Watch are indignant because they claim the president won't wait for the legislative process to work and that Mr. Obama is doing is unconstitutional, imperial, and impetuous. Oh, both counts? On both counts, that is total horse crap. The GOP has zero intention to do anything on immigration except build higher fences and hire more border guards. They've been busy falsely blaming Latino immigrants for everything from ISIS to Ebola. They would blame them for climate change if they believed in climate change. Remember when Newt Gingrich and the temerity to suggest that an elderly immigrant, the Abula, who had been here 20 to 25 years, could maybe, possibly get a reprieve from deportation? He got run out of the 2012 GOP primaries for being weak on immigration. Even supposedly strong independent thinkers like Senator John McCain or Marco Rubio have punked out in the face of the Tea Party's immigration whatever word that is, intransigence. Representative Brooks told Geraldo this week that he wanted to deport all 11 million undocumented. Can you picture that scene? Hardworking parents who have been here for years and American citizen children being herded onto a bus and trains and being deported somewhere, dumped anywhere but here. Haven't we seen this horror movie before? Is that who we are as a nation? President Obama has the constitutional authority to order these working for him to lay off the law-abiding without providing them either federal benefits or a path to citizenship. He is at least freeing 5 million immigrants from a threat of deportation. Geraldo says, my only beef is that he is too late, but better late than never. And if he waited for the House GOP, we would have waited forever. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I really don't. But the genie's out of the bottle at this point. The borders have been broken for over 30 years or more. There is no intention whatsoever for this government to close anything at this point. And it will have to be we the people that go down there to tell the Border Patrol, get your asses back home and protect yourself. We're here to protect this country. That's what we need to do. A lot of people say, no, we can't do that. But now, get this, and you can go look this up. I don't know, I don't remember the name of the organization in Mexico, but they're saying that if any American citizen wants to cross the border and be in Mexico for longer than 7 days, you're going to have to pay this organization $28. Folks, that's a toll. Have you been on toll roads before? That's a toll. We no longer have two countries, apparently. We just have one big, massive North American Union now. Canada just hadn't signed on to it yet because, well, you know, what's the point? See, so it's a losing battle, folks. I mean, to try and fight these morons, to try and talk some sense into these jackasses just isn't enough. they're going to go, yeah, I hear you. We'll make the changes. And they'll walk in their office, grab a big-ass doobie, and sit down and have fun, play cards. They won't do a damn thing, folks. I mean, they're making money from the drug cartels, from all the drugs being shipped in. They're making money from insider trading in the stock market because it's legal for them, but still illegal for us. No, yeah, go ahead, check this stuff out. You don't, if you think I'm lying, if you don't think I'm telling the truth, you go check it out. Folks, the top of the hour is coming up, and as you can tell on the Free America Radio Facebook page, there's not much there. On the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page, there's not much there either. So, at the top of the hour, after the top of the hour break, top of the hour news, I'm going to have a rebroadcast of the Chris Ann Hall Show. So, there you go. So, anyway, I want you to know that things are changing around here at this network, such as the name, such as what we want to do. We, as if I have a mouse in my pocket. You can be a part of that change and that remodel. You can go to freeamericaradio.weebly.com. You can donate. You can sponsor the show. You can get your emergency food supply. It's all right there. You go check it out. I do take Bitcoin. Now, remember, I read that article about Bitcoin and all that. You know, they're going to come up with derivatives, you know. Basically, the government freaking owns it now. So I got to get that off of my website. So I'm not going to deal with Bitcoin. I'm making that executive decision at this point and airing it live right now. Don't send Bitcoin. It's now a government shill. Whoever owns and runs Bitcoin is now part of the government, and therefore it's pointless to even use Bitcoin. So I'm taking that off the site. But you can still donate. I have PayPal. So there you go. I have PayPal. I have other ways, but I just haven't put them on the website yet. There's a backup site you can go to. I don't have all the stuff on there I'd like at this point, such as ways to donate. Or actually, I do. I correct myself. I'm sorry. I'm correcting myself. I was wrong. Yes, mark that on the calendar today. I do have a way for you to support the network as well. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.wix, that's W-I-X, .com/ALR network. American Liberty Radio.wix.com/ALR network. And you can see ways you can leave tips too. I may have to take that off because that's Coinbase. I don't know if that's same as Bitcoin, as you know, or I don't know. But I know it's Coinbase.com is who I go through there. There's a lot of cryptocurrency out there. The government wants to get their hands on them and take a piece of the pie and turn it into a cashless society and use that as part of the cashless society. So let's just stop the government right now in their tracks. Matter of fact, I never used to advocate this, but I will now. Find every way you can not to pay any more taxes at all. You want to rebel? Let's stop the money flow. Okay? I used to not advocate that, but it's totally out of control now. And we have to stop it. We, the people, have a right and an obligation and a duty to throw off this government and install other people and vote for other people and elect other people that will do what needs to be done. Okay? That's in the Declaration of Independence, I believe. I could be wrong. Might be in the Constitution. Go take a look, folks. In the meantime, you can email me at freeamericaradio@unseen.is. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Folks, top of the hour news, and then the Chris Ann Hall Show.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates, online at thelibertybeat.com. I'm Brian Hagan with your Liberty Beat for Friday, November 21st, 2014. Gold is trading around $1,193. Silver is trading around $16.23. And Bitcoin is trading around $350. Today's precious metal prices brought to you by Midas Resources Incorporated, helping clients convert their paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver. Get their 10 Reasons book free by calling 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237. The Liberty Beat is brought to you by eFoods Direct, redefining the way you think about storable food. eFoods Direct is offering 10% off to all Liberty Beat listeners. Just go to efoodsdirect.com/LibertyBeat or call 800-620-5520 and mention Liberty Beat for your savings today. In the news, a common-sense middle ground approach. That's what President Barack Obama called his plan regarding immigration reform, as unveiled during a speech Thursday night.
We're going to keep focusing enforcement resources on actual threats to our security. Felons, not families. Criminals, not children. Gang members, not a mom who's working hard to provide for her kids.
The executive order means those undocumented immigrants who have lived in the United States for 5 years or more, who are the parents of either American citizens or lawful residents, will not be deported. Before that would happen, they would have to undergo criminal and national security background checks. Their status would be reviewed every 3 years. Supporters of Michael Brown and police officers in riot gear clashed on Wednesday night as Ferguson awaits a decision from the grand jury. About 50 officers in helmets carrying shields and batons charged at a small group of protesters in below freezing temperatures. Protesters reportedly sounded sirens and shouted at the police. Local authorities have said the officers would reserve the right to put on riot gear when they feel their safety is at risk. The smaller protests throughout the week have all been peaceful and non-threatening. On Thursday, thousands of demonstrators across Mexico and the United States took part in strikes and protests to raise awareness on the kidnapping of 43 students from Iguala in the southern state of Guerrero. Protesters marched through the streets of Mexico City, as well as Houston, Los Angeles, and New York. The Liberty Beat, sponsored by Central Texas Gun Works, your online source for firearms, firearm accessories, and ammunition. They take major credit cards and now accept Bitcoin. Visit them online, shop.centraltexasgunworks.com. Did you know you can support the Liberty Beat when shopping on Amazon.com? Just log into your account after clicking our Amazon affiliate link at libertybeat.com/Amazon. This is the Liberty Beat for Friday, November 21st, 2014. Check out the website at thelibertybeat.com. And like us on Facebook at facebook.com/thelibertybeat.
John Bush here with an update from the road on the Unconventional Living Tour, my family's Bitcoin-only trip across the country. One of the tools that's helped us the most in our journey has been the Airbits Bitcoin directory and wallet. According to Paul Fway, CEO of Airbits, he saw a strong demand for a user-friendly Bitcoin business directory and decided to help make one.
It was a pain point of a Bitcoin user to find where I can spend Bitcoin, and I looked at the other merchant directories and the other solutions, mobile apps, web apps. They felt like such garage projects.
While in Albuquerque, New Mexico, we used Airbits to find a Mexican restaurant that accepted Bitcoin called Ortega's. After we paid our tab, we convinced our waiter to set up a wallet and tipped him with Bitcoin. While in San Diego, my wife Kat and I helped a couple of street artists to set up an Airbits wallet so we could buy painting for our daughter Aliana. And on our final night, we ate at another Bitcoin-accepting restaurant called Draft and again set our waiter up with an Airbits wallet and tipped him out with Bitcoin. The last waiter was pretty skeptical, but as Fway says of the Airbits app, it's a great tool for Bitcoin evangelists as it helps new users to see how useful Bitcoin truly is.
Our goal is to be an app that, as an evangelist, this is the de facto thing I'm going to send people to, because it's familiar to set up, it's already secure as soon as they set it up, and they already know where to spend Bitcoin. They already know how to make it an actual currency and to really help the economy.
To download your Airbits wallet today, search Airbits, that's bits with a Z, in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, or use the business directory online at airbits.co. Follow the rest of our Bitcoin-only road trip at unconventional.com. We'll be on the road through November spending nothing but Bitcoin. Until next time, peace, love, and Bitcoin.
Today's edition of the Liberty Beat, made possible by My Magic Mud, the most effective and affordable dental care around. Get a 150 application jar at mymagicmud.com. Want to reach tens of thousands of like-minded listeners every day with your messenger product? The Liberty Beat is looking for sponsors for their daily news service. To inquire further, visit thelibertybeat.com/advertise. This is the Liberty Beat for Friday, November 21st, 2014. I'm Brian Hagan reporting, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
I know you're out there. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
The Chris Ann Hall Show.
Any varmint that crosses that lady's path has met its match.
Rise and shine, liberty-loving patriots. Welcome to the Chris Ann Hall Show. ChrisAnnHall.com, KrisAnnehall.com. I almost hesitate talking about this today. Obama's amazing speech last night. I know that everybody in the world is going to be talking about this, but perhaps you will hear it from me first. Perhaps you will hear some things from me that you won't hear from everybody else. I'm very curious to see what the talking heads are going to say, because I think maybe that there's going to be some hysterical reaction to the president's speech today. And I think maybe if we look at it from a more rational perspective, we'll be able to see what it really is. I believe that Obama would want you to believe that this last night, was his Emancipation Proclamation for illegal immigrants. No. As a matter of fact, his whole little analogy, they pick your vegetables, they make your beds. I just the allusion to slavery there was just stunning to me. So I really believe that Obama thought this was his Emancipation Proclamation. And by the way, I think if it is his Emancipation Proclamation, it has just as much effect as Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which was no effect at all. But the interesting thing is that I want to run through some numbers, because I want us to get an idea of what is going on. Because yesterday, I think we think about these things fractionally. And hearing Obama say something yesterday really sort of made me think about something. He said he's going to speed up the legalization process for millions of undocumented people here already. We're not going to be deporting moms. We're not going to be deporting kids. We're not going to be deporting hard-working people. We're going to be deporting criminals. He says deporting millions is not realistic. So I started thinking about this whole millions thing, and I want to show you what this is, because I think, again, connecting the dots is very important, and I don't think it's something that we do very much. And so I went to the Oracle this morning and Googled estimated number of illegal aliens in the United States. About 11.7 million illegal immigrants that we know of in this population, according to the Pew Research Center. 11.7 million illegal immigrants. What does that mean according to the entire population? Now, that's the ones that we know of, that we've estimated. Now, over the last less than 2 years, now this is a statistic from 2012. And so in the last 2 years, the Pew Research Center also reports that 75,000 illegal immigrants are living in New Jersey. 55,000 illegal immigrants. No, I'm sorry, that was wrong. 75,000 illegal immigrants have come into New Jersey in the last less than 3 years. And 55,000, according to the Pew Research Center, have come into Florida in less than the last 3 years. So in less than 3 years, we have 55,000 new illegal immigrants in Florida and 75,000 new illegal immigrants in New Jersey. Interesting to note there, just from a sort of trivial perspective, both those states have GOP governments. Both those states have GOP governors. And Florida, who is ranked number 2 in population, illegal immigrant population explosion over the last 3 years, less than 3 years, not only has a GOP governor, but has a GOP Senate, a GOP House, and a GOP Commissioner of Agriculture, and a GOP Attorney General. Interesting, isn't it? I thought the GOP was going to come to our rescue for these. But you know what the Pew Research Center found out, Liz? These states with these explosions of illegal immigrants are the ones that are friendliest to amnesty, passing laws like in-state tuition and that sort of thing. So let's get back on task. 11.7 estimated illegal immigrants living in the United States. 301 million people in the United States, which would include, I'm guessing, the 11.7 million, right? So what are the demographics? So that what we have to understand is that puts the illegal immigrant population, people who are in this country illegally, at 4% of our population. 4% of our population are illegal immigrants. What does that mean? Do you know that according to the government, blacks alone comprise 12% as a race group? That means that the illegal immigrant population at 4% is 1/3 of the black population. Well, how about this? Asian Americans are 5% of the population in America. Isn't that amazing? The number of people in the United States that are illegal in this country is almost the same as the number of Asian people here legally. Are you seeing how these numbers work? 11.1 million illegal immigrants in this country, people who are here illegally. American Indian and Alaska Native indigenous people, 0.95% of the population. Illegal immigrants outnumber our Native American and Native Alaskan people combined in the United States. Are we catching these numbers? Which means what? All these people here legally, all these people who have gone through the right and the correct way of doing things are going to be outnumbered by the people who are here illegally, breaking the law, shirking the system, and are going to just become automatically legal. Oh, don't worry, we're not going to make them citizens. We're just going to make them legal. We'll discuss the difference in that in a minute. But I think these numbers are important when we look at them together. So according to the Department of Immigration, there are 41 million, nearly 41 million immigrants living in the United States in 2012. 41 million immigrants. About 20% of all international migrants reside in the United States. 41 million here legally. And we're going to increase that by 1/4 in a one fell swoop. 41 million, and now we're going to add 11 million right on top of that. I mean, what does that mean to us? Between the years 2011 and 2012, according to the Department of Government Immigration Statistics, Foreign-born population increased by 447,000 in 1 year. 447,000 legal immigrants in the United States in 1 year. Just 447,000 in 1 year. And Obama wants to add 11 million in 1 day. Are you catching these numbers? I mean, it's just absolutely stunning to me how these numbers are working out. Do we think about those things? I mean, it's just something to think about, these numbers. Only 447,000 in 1 year, and now Obama wants to add 11.7 million in 1 day. Now, he also claims that they're just as patriotic as you and me. I would beg to differ on that. The interesting thing is that he quoted George Bush last night about the illegal immigrants being a part of our society. A part of America, he said. And I find it interesting that he quotes George Bush because we've been trying to explain to people, and apparently Rush missed this too. I was listening to Rush yesterday. I don't think people realize how pro-amnesty George W. Bush was. I experienced it firsthand. George W. Bush engaged in executive amnesty through regulations of ICE, limiting the funding of deportation, limiting the manpower of deportation, and controlling who gets to leave and who doesn't. Hand tying our immigration and customs agents from deportation. That's George W. Bush. That's not Obama. Obama's just transparent about it. George W. Bush had the cover of the GOP. You see, he was able to do what he did without anybody knowing about it, and people still denying that it happened today because he had the GOP covering for him. We just have Obama saying, I don't care, I'm going to do it whether you like it or not. And so we're going to go over this again. I'm going to show you some things that I think maybe you might find surprising. Maybe not.
Chris Ann Hall Show. She's Liberty's lobbyist.
Now, Obama's plan is to integrate 11.7 illegal immigrants into our society legally, just with one fell swoop. Okay, so maybe those numbers will change a little bit because he says not recently. If you've just come here recently, you don't get this free pass. And this is not for anybody in the future. And for those who qualify, we're not going to deport you. So he makes the statement, amnesty is what we have now. Amnesty is leaving it the way it is. You know, I don't know if I absolutely disagree with that because it's true. He says a lot of true things in this speech. But he says mass deportation is not who we are. Common sense, middle ground approach is what we need. He says if you plan to enter the country illegally, you will be deported. And if Congress doesn't like what I'm doing, I just have one answer for them. Pass a bill. And he says if you do that, then the actions I'm taking will no longer be necessary. Why? Because he won't sign a bill until it's exactly what he wants it to be. And then he said the most amazing thing. He said, the middle class, and I'm quoting him now, the middle class people have gotten a raw deal for over a decade. Obama just admitted that under his administration, the middle class people have gotten a raw deal. And they may be a little bitter about that. And that bitterness is making them think poorly about his immigration plan. And here's his Emancipation Proclamation phrase. Are you ready? Workers who pick our fruit and make our beds can never be right with the law. Is that right? Do we educate them and then send them home and reap the benefits of our country in their homelands? So many things wrong with this. Do we send them home just because they didn't have the right papers? I'm just amazed by some of these statements. The workers who pick our fruit and make our beds. If a GOP said that, they would be screaming racism. They'd be calling him a bigot, trying to keep the Hispanic down. All they do is pick fruit and clean hotel rooms, and their maids and servants. Really, I thought that this whole deal was for amnesty for high educated people. That's how he started off this speech. We're not going to be giving everybody legalization. We're just going to give those who are the highly productive, the educated ones in the highly educated fields that we need help with. And we're not going to deport them just because they don't have the right papers. Why don't you carry over that perspective at the next time you have a DUI checkpoint? Or you're coming down the road and a federal agent pulls you over and asks you for your license and your registration. Are you going to say, well, you know what? We can't deport people just because they don't have the right papers. How can you give me a ticket just because I don't have the right papers? The bottom line is, these people lied to get what they needed. They played the system dishonestly to get what they needed. And we're going to just circumvent the law and alter the law to make these people who are in the habit of avoiding the law and breaking the law legal. And 11.7 million of them. I want to ask you, is that a productive, patriotic member of society who has lived for decades lying and cheating the system? I think that's something very important to think about.
My mama always said I was born for this, and some people wouldn't like that I was different. It never really mattered how hard it would be, cause she filled me with love and the strength to lead. She said, something down if you get it our way.
The Chris Ann Hall Show. She's Liberty's lobbyist.
So the workers who pick our fruit and make our beds need to have a way to become right with the law. We can't send them home just because they don't have the right papers. And then we have to hear about Astrid. Astrid's came here when she was 4 years old and defied all the odds. Became a college student now, working on 3 degrees. She's a political activist And that's how I know her. We need to welcome her in. We were strangers once, too. And we need to be opening our arms to strangers. No, Obama, you're the only stranger here. As a matter of fact, you're not even supposed to be president because you're a stranger here. The whole problem that we have today in the way the executive branch is running is because you're a stranger here. You are the stranger. The rest of us who were born here or came here legally did so because we love this country. We love the establishment of liberty. We love what makes America exceptional. We're not wanting to change that overnight at the tune of 11.7 million people. So what I did was I just went ahead and I wrote a translation of Obama's speech from last night. I'm going to sum it up to you, and it was a very short speech anyway. And I'm going to sum it up to you. For those of you who are not Democrats, for those of you who are not liberal progressives, I am a linguist. I'm a trained linguist. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to translate this from liberal progressive to conservative, rational, logical thinking people. Are you ready? Here we go. Translating Obama's speech from liberal progressive to conservative, logical, rational thought. I'm Barack Obama. Don't worry, what I'm doing is perfectly legal, and the only reason I'm doing it is because Congress won't do what I tell them. Think about the dear young girl I know named Astrid. She came here illegally when she was just 4 years old. She and her parents got a place to live. Her dad and mom had jobs but never paid taxes. She went to government schools, even lied and cheated the system to go to a premier charter school because she didn't have the right papers. She got health care and an education while she was here illegally. She and her parents are still illegal today. And she is now a college student working on her 3rd degree. She's even a political activist for Amnesty. So don't worry, I'm not going to give them the benefits of citizenship. I don't have to. I'm just going to give them a way to become legal. We've already established that you're stupid. So don't be selfish and inconsiderate, people, too. This does not affect recent or future illegals. This is just a delayed deportation, which is what we're already doing. So all we're really changing are the political labels for these people. It's really just a temporary Band-Aid that you will have to revisit a few years down the road. We, the politicians, will be able to politically string American people on and on for years to come. It is a crisis that will continue to build and manipulate the voters because we will still not seal the borders. God bless America. And there you have his speech. Is what Obama said unconstitutional? Only if you think about the fact that the Department of Immigration and Customs is already operating illegally. Unconstitutionally, rather. But what Obama said really wasn't unconstitutional. Because after all, he is the leader of the executive branch. And he is just instructing the executive agency on how to operate. Number one. That's well within his power. The unconstitutional aspect of this is that the Department of Immigration Customs Enforcement operates unconstitutionally. It's the agency that's operating unconstitutionally. So he's going to be able to get around saying, the claim that he's operating unconstitutionally because technically he's not. His agency is. And he's just directing his agency. See, that's the whole purpose of executive orders anyway, to direct executive agencies. The problem is not with the executive orders. The problem is that, with the majority of them anyway, the problem is that these executive agencies don't constitutionally exist or don't properly constitutionally operate like Immigration Customs Enforcement. I mean, the only thing the federal government is allowed to do with immigration is to set up a standard. The enforcement of that is supposed to remain in the states. There's no authorization for enforcement, just for establishing a standard. And the states are supposed to supply the standards. So the states are the ones who have to wake up and realize that the federal government is doing their job unconstitutionally. And if the states were to wake up and realize that the federal government was doing their job unconstitutionally, then they could take their job back. And then they would take the authority from the president to rule and reign over them. Because you see, the president can't change the standard. Only Congress can change the standard. And that's the key issue here. Obama is not changing the standard. The standard has already been changed. Congress has allowed the standard to be changed for a very long time. And so now, through congressional negligence and passes given to this administration and previous administrations, we have the situation that we're in. Because you see, when George Bush was doing it, it was okay. But now that Obama's doing it, it's not okay because it's in our faces. So what are you going to do? I mean, this is still a congressional issue. So what is Congress going to do about it? Now, the other thing that makes this speech a non-action is that he didn't change anything. It doesn't affect recent illegals. I'm not quite sure what recent means. I don't know, but progressives like to redefine the meaning of words. You know, that word imminent means you might sometime in the future do something. And maybe recent means in the last, 10 minutes. So if you came across the border while Obama was giving his speech, then this doesn't affect you. And it doesn't affect future illegals, which means if you come over here tomorrow, it doesn't affect you. But everybody else, the 11.7 million who are already here, we're just going to delay deportation, which is exactly what they're already doing. Now, the interesting thing is that he never actually comes out and says we're going to deport criminals. He says we're not going to deport the people who are here not committing crimes, right? We're not going to deport the moms and dads and the kids and the people who are working here legally. We're not going to do that. But he never really came out and said criminals will be deported. We're going to engage in active deportation of criminals. We're going to clean out our prisons with illegal immigrants, and we're going to send them home. He never actually said that. So pay attention not only to what he says, but what he doesn't say. It's all about delayed deportation. And this is such a non-act. Because as I pointed out in the summary, the key here is he never, ever once mentioned in this speech, not one single solitary time, that we're going to secure the borders. Not once did he say that. And so what he has done is made an announcement to the world that when you come here, you will not be deported. And we're not going to do anything to stop you from coming here. Right? This will not affect recent illegal immigrants or future illegal immigrants. See, we're not going to try to stop illegal immigrants. We're just not going to allow the future ones to become legal. Isn't that a very interesting way of phrasing that? Does not affect recent or future illegals. Knowing that he refuses to secure the border, which means this problem is going to continue. And at a rate of 75,000 every 2 years into every state. What does that mean? That means the problem grows, continues to grow, while politicians bicker and use this crisis as a tool to manipulate stupid people. I mean, that's what this really is all about. You're going to hear things, well, this is going to backfire on the Democrats. This is going to whatever. No, it's not. No, it's not. I think they highly underestimate the number of people who are actually going to be voters through this massive legalization. But remember, he's not granting them citizenship, so they can't vote anyway. But then they're going to get here, and you're going to say, well, they're living here. They're living here with these benefits of citizenship, but you're denying them legal representation. That's not how we work. We are a country based on legislation by representation. How can we have 11.7 million productive people in society and denying them representation? That's like having slaves and denying them representation. We had a civil war for that. How can we do that to these people? See, this is the progressive way things are done. You simply call their names differently, right? We're not going to call them illegal anymore. We're going to call them legal. Not citizen, but legal. So now we can have people in the country legally, but with no rights? How does that work? You wait. This is going to be a continuing crisis, a continuing political tool to manipulate votes, control elections, and siphon more and more and more money from the people. This is just legal plunder, America. An excuse for the government to take your money illegally and unconstitutionally. And the real question still remains. How long will we allow government to operate unconstitutionally? How long will we allow the government to engage in legal plunder? How long will we consent? And how long before we realize that it's our children that are paying for this? 11.7 million in one fell swoop. How does that impact your children?
The Chris Ann Hall Show. She's Liberty's lobbyist. Chris Ann Hall Show. She's Liberty's lobbyist.
So Obama says, don't worry, we're not going to make them citizens. We're just going to make them legal. Let me ask you a very important question. What is the difference between someone who is a citizen and someone who's here legally? Think about this from a perspective of the illegal immigrant. You're 11.7 million people here already here illegally. You get public housing. You get public welfare benefits. You get free medical treatment. You're here illegally, remember? You get government primary, secondary, and post-secondary education. Possible military service. You get constitutional recognition of rights. According to the ATF and the Department of Justice, you can buy, own, and ship firearms easier than citizens, with more rights as citizens, as far as firearms concerned, with less background checks than citizens, and you get invitations from the White House to go sit at dinners with the president and the first lady, simply because you're illegal. Now, Obama says he's going to fix all this, right? Because if you're here, if you're one of these 11.7 million and you're not a criminal, and you submit yourself to a background check, then what we're going to do is we're going to allow you to be considered legal. Not citizen, but legal. Oh, no, nothing's going to change about how you work because, you know, we know that you're already voting. We know you get all these benefits. Nothing's going to change except for the fact that now you will do all these things and pay taxes. And you don't have to hide. I about laughed my head off when he said that. You no longer have to hide in the shadows. I'm sorry, is having dinner with the stinking President of the United States hiding in the shadows? Is being a political activist and having 3 college degrees hiding in the shadows? No. It's pilfering and plundering is what it is. And the interesting thing is, they think this is okay. Liberal progressives think this is okay because they think that everybody should have all this stuff free. Not just illegal immigrants. Everybody should get housing for free. Everybody should get welfare benefits for free. Everybody should get free medical treatment. Everybody should go to college and get 3 college degrees for free. So they're not changing anything about the way they believe. They're just trying to transform America into a socialist government. And what's the best way to do it? Fill it full of people who already live a socialist life. Make them legal. And then argue that if you don't give them the right to representation and the right to vote, they're here legally, you're denying them the basic human rights of every American. And then you have 11.7 million socialist voters who believe that everything should be free because that's how they got what they got. They didn't have to do it to work hard. They didn't have to pay their fair share. What a great deal is that? That's the same deal, by the way, as the Gang of 8 came up with. I just want you to recognize what Obama said last night was the plan of the Gang of 8. Go look at it. It's the same thing. It's a pathway. We will allow you to be legal as long as you do a background check and pay taxes. And then what are you going to do? Make people pay taxes and don't allow them to be citizens? Don't allow them, the legal right to vote? They'll be hiding in the shadows when they're voting. Time to wake up, America. This is who we've become. The question is, how long will you consent to the destruction of the Constitution, to the theft of your money, and the destruction and the complete annihilation of the liberty that is supposed to be inherited by your children? Just asking.
Hey there, I'm Big Tiny. I'm the host of Big Tiny's Oldies and More. And we're playing music that you just love to hear from the 50s to the 90s. So check us out Monday through Friday and see what we're playing right here on Spreaker.com.
Listen to Just BK on the Shake and Wake Radio Network. ShakeandWakeRadio.com.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Chris Ann Hall, Liberty's lobbyist. Go to Chris Ann Hall, KrisAnnehall.com, KrisAnnHall.com. How far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? Listen to Ashley Jones on the Red Pill Radio Show on AlternativeCurrentRadio.com.
The world is falling apart. Countries are fighting for supremacy and control. Each country's leaders are saying they should rule their people. This is neither politically correct or morally right. It is the people that suffer by the hands of the corrupt leaders of their countries. For the people to be free, they must take a stand against the corporations that control the politicians.
American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the BS. The Pete Santilli Show on the Guerrilla Media Network, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not. GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com. Catch up on the latest news and controversy and more on The Spencer Hughes Show on Spreaker.com and SpencerHughes.net.
Sarasota's home for R&B and soul. The Razor Blade Express with Dave the Rave.
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Ah, damn politicians. My mother always told me this country would be screwed if the liberals had their way. The only sanity I get is when I listen to Jeff Wagner on the Conservative Voice, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
Eastland Radio Repertory Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor? Do you want to hone your abilities? Please send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. We are currently looking for voice actors to fill certain character roles in an ongoing radio play in development. Please send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. Mainstream science argues that if something can't be touched, measured, quantified, and duplicated in a laboratory, then it doesn't exist. According to this worldview, reality is an unconscious, non-personal mass of matter, which leaves no room for the existence of spiritual or unexplained phenomena. But is that all there really is to reality? Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman don't think so, and after reading this book, neither will you. In The Grid, paranormal investigators and best-selling authors Jones and Flaxman present their theory of the grid, a divine superstructure that includes multiple levels of existence, the entirety of which makes up our reality. Jones and Flaxman will show you how to release the limiting belief that this is all there is once and for all by exploring the grid, expanding your awareness, and empowering your life in the process. Reality, dear friend, will never be the same again. The Grid, Exploring the Hidden Infrastructure of Reality by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman. Available at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on radiofreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at alrn.fm.
Lock it on to the best station on the net.
The Free America Radio Network. Are you a filmmaker and want to make your epic feature film with no money, some money, and/or all the money in the world? Listen to Christopher J. Taylor as he discusses everything you need to know about filmmaking and more on Film 101 on HTLA973.com. Hey folks, this is the Views Expressed live right here on the Free America Radio Network on Spreaker. Go to our backup site at AmericanLibertyRadio.wix.com/ALR Network. That's American Liberty Radio.wix. That's WIX.com/ALR Network. That's our backup site. Thank you for listening to the Chris Ann Hall Show. Isn't she amazing? Go to chrisannhall.com. That's KRISANNEHALL.com. Check it out as well. Lots of things going on. I got a few minutes here. I thought I'd take a few minutes, come back on air, and let you know that the network is changing, evolving, becoming better, and we're still going to share with you the facts. We're still going to tell you the truth. We're not going to give you any more BS because you got enough of it on the state-run media. Why do you need more from the independent and alternative media? Even though some of them, you might say, are nothing but shills, controlled opposition, whatever it may be. You know, sharing the truth, one fact at a time, without all the BS. That's what we do here. That's what I do here. But I got to tell you, we can't grow without you, because you listeners out there, and I get the statistics. Yeah, I got some listeners out there, and if you want to help promote this site, if you want to help me build and go a little bit further, that's entirely up to you. All right? It's listener supported. So the more that you contribute in whatever way you can, the more I can grow this network. And it's not about getting listeners, and it's not about getting clicks on a website. It's about getting out the truth one fact at a time without all the BS. I don't have any agendas here. The agenda, if there was one, well, my goal, you can call that an agenda if you want. My goal is to tell you the truth. Show you who's behind the curtain, pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. That's my goal. Now, whether, whatever it is you want to do, you do. I'm not going to throw you on the ground, put your arm behind your back, and make you do anything you don't want to do. But if you like this show, do what you can to help out. I'm looking for advertisers, speaking of which, speaking of changes as well. Looking for advertisers. I'm not out to break your advertising budget, so if you go to americanliberty.wix.com/ALR and go to the sponsors page, you can check that out. If you're listening to the show on Spreaker, the website is there. That's americanlibertyradio.wix.com/ALR network. And it's pretty simple, folks. It's pretty freaking simple. You like it, you'll support it. You don't like it, you won't support it. I mean, I'm that way. If I see something I like, I'll do what I can to support it. If I don't, like it, or if I don't have the resources at that moment, then I'm not going to worry about it. I know times are tough. But we got to get the word out somehow, I'm just saying. It's Friday. It's the big Friday. Hey, if you're in the Reno, Nevada area, there's this place called Midtown. Check out the shops and the people there. Awesome folks. You can also check out downtown, which is where all the casinos are. You check those out as well. But a lot of things go on here in the biggest little city in the world. And it's really cool. So check it out. Got questions, comments, concerns? Even if you disagree with me, show me why. Free America Radio at unseen.is. Free America Radio at unseen.is. Jot down this website. American Liberty Radio. That's the first part. American Liberty Radio .wix, that's WIX, .com/ALR network. I'll say that a wee bit faster. American Liberty Radio .wix.com ALR network. That's one more time so that you know you have it. American Liberty Radio .wix, .com/ALR network. Okay? And the email is freeamericaradio at unseen.is. Freeamericaradio at unseen.is. So there you go. Lots of things going on. The weekend's coming up. We have the Wizard World Comic-Con here this weekend. Started tonight. Lasts till Sunday. So if you get into Reno, check it out. In the meantime, folks, have yourself a wonderful weekend, okay? Just smile at one another. Love your neighbors. Love your family. Love your animals. Keep them inside if it's cold. And, I'll be back Monday. Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, or that time may change. I don't know. Just keep watching the Free America Radio web Facebook page for more information. In the meantime, folks, I always like to leave you with something. You guys are going to have a great weekend, I'm sure. But remember this. We the people have the power, for we are America.